Isaiah 13 to 15. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amoz saw. Set up a banner on the Bar mountain. Lift up your voice to them. Wave your hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my consecrated ones. Yes, I have called my mighty men for my anger, even my proudly exulting ones. The noise of a multitude is in the mountains, as of a great people. The noise of an uproar of the kingdoms, of the nations gathered together. Adonai Zvaot is mustering the arrow for the battle, the army for the battle. They come from a far country, from the uttermost part of heaven. Even Yahweh and the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. Wail, for the day of Yahweh is near. It will come as destruction from Shaddai. Therefore all the hands will be feeble, and everyone's heart will melt. They will be dismayed. Pangs and sorrows will seize them. They will be in pain like a woman in labor. They will look in amazement at one another. Their faces will be the faces of flames. Behold, the day of Yahweh comes, cruel, with wrath and fierce anger, to make the land a desolation, to destroy its sinners out of it. For the stars of the sky and its constellations will not give their light. The sun will be darkened in its going out, and the moon will not cause its light to shine. I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. I will cause the arrogance of the proud to cease, and will humble the arrogant of the terrible. I will make people more rare than fine gold, even a person than the pure gold of Ophir. Therefore I will make the heavens tremble, and the earth will be shaken out of its place. At the wrath of Adonai Tzvaot in the day of his fierce anger it will happen, that like a hunted gazelle and like sheep that no one gathers, they will each turn to their own people, and will each flee to their own land. Everyone who is found to be thrust through, everyone who is captured, will fall by the sword. Their infants also will be dashed in pieces before their eyes. Their houses will be ransacked, and their wives raped. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, who will not value silver, and as for gold, they will not delight in it. Their bows will dash the young men in pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes will not spare children. Behold, Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Kisnan pride, will be like when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It will never be inhabited, neither will it be lived in from generation to generation. The Arabian will not pitch a tent there, neither will shepherds make their flocks lie down there, but wild animals of the desert will lie there, and their houses will be full of jackals. Ostriches will dwell there, and wild goats will frolic there. Wolves will cry in their fortresses, and jackals in the pleasant places. Her time is near to come, and her days will not be prolonged. For Yahweh will have compassion on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. The foreigner will join himself with them, and they will unite with the house of Jacob. The people will take them and bring them to their place. The house of Israel will possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and for handmaids. They will take as captives those whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. It will happen in that day that Yahweh will give you rest from your sorrow, from your trouble, and from the hard service in which you were made to serve, that you will take up this parable against the king of Babylon and say, how the oppressor has ceased, and the golden city has ceased. Yahweh has broken the staff of the wicked, the scepter of the rulers, who struck the peoples in wrath with a continual stroke, who ruled the nations in anger, with a persecution that no one restrained. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break out in song. The cypress trees rejoices with you with the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since you are humbled, no lumberjack has come up against us. Sheol from beneath has moved for you to meet you at your coming. It stirs up the departed spirits for you, even all the rulers of the earth. It raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. They all will answer you and ask you, have you become as weak as we are? Have you become like us? Your pomp is brought down to Sheol. With the sound of your stringed instruments, maggots and spread out under you, and worms cover you. How you have fallen from heaven, O shining one, sons of the dawn. How you are cut down to the ground, who laid the nations low. You said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit on the mountain of assembly in the far north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will make myself like Elion. Yet you shall be brought down to Sheol, to the depths of the pit. Those who see you will stare at you. They will ponder you, saying, is this the man who made the earth to tremble, who shook kingdoms, who made the world like a wilderness, and overthrew its cities, who did not release his prisoners to their home? All the kings of the nations slept in glory, everyone in his own house. But you were cast away from your grave, like an abominable branch, clothed with the slain, who are thrust through with the sword, who go down to the stones of the pit, like a dead body trodden underfoot. You will not join them in burial, because you have destroyed your land. You have killed your people. The offspring of evildoers will not be named forever. Prepare for slaughter of his children because of the iniquity of their fathers, that they not rise up and possess the earth, and fill the surface of the world with cities. I will rise up against them, says Adonai Sevaot, and cut off from Babylon name and remnant, and son, says Yahweh. I will make it a possession for the porcupine, and pools of water. I will sweep it with the broom of destruction, says Adonai Sevaot. Adonai Sevaot has sworn, saying, surely, as I have thought, so shall it happen, and as I have proposed, so it shall stand, that I will break the Assyrian in my land, and tread him underfoot on my mountains. Then his yoke will leave them, and his burden will leave their shoulders. This is the plan that is determined for the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched out over all the nations. For Adonai Sevaot has planned, and who can stop it? His hand is stretched out, and who can turn it back? This burden was in the year that King Ahaz died. Do not rejoice, O Philistia, all of you, because of the rod that struck you is broken. For out of the serpent's root an adder will emerge, and his fruit will be fiery flying serpent. The firstborn of the poor will eat, and the needy will lie down in safety. And I will kill your root with famine, and your remnant will be killed. Wail, you gate. Cry, you city. You are melted away, Philistia, all of you. For smoke comes out of the north, and there is no straggler in his ranks. What will they answer, the messengers of the nation? That Yahweh has founded Zion, and in her affliction of his people will take refuge. The burden of Moab. For in a night Ar of Moab is laid waste, and brought to nothing. For in a night Kir of Moab is laid waste, and brought to nothing. They have gone up to Baeth, and to Dibon, to the high places to weep. Moab wails over Nebo, and over Medeba. Baldness is on all their heads, and every beard is cut off. In their streets they clothe themselves in sackcloth. In their streets and on their housetops everyone wails, weeping abundantly. Heshbon cries out with Eliel. Their voice is heard even to Jahaz. Therefore the armed men of Moab cry aloud. Their souls tremble within them. My heart cries out for Moab. Her Nereites flee to Zoar, to Egleth Shelshidea, for by the ascent of Luhith they go up with weeping. For on the way of Horonaim they raise up a cry of destruction, for the waters of Nimrim will be desolate, and the grass has withered away. The tender grass fails, there is no green thing. Therefore they will carry away the abundance they have gained, and what they have stored up over the brook of the willows. For the cry has gone around the borders of Moab, its wailing to Eglim, and its wailing to Beer Elim. For the waters of Dimon are full of blood. For I will bring yet more to Dimon, a line on those of Moab who escape, and on the remnant of the land.